Hey, what's up? What's happening? What's are you? What's awa? Hawa? Sawa? Ya doan? It's another episode of Low Tech Health. Welcome to Wasabi Walnut. What's hurting my tummy? Wednesday. What's hurting my tummy? Maybe a blood infection. Who knows? They told me when I came in last night that the patient who was, yesterday's episode was concerned about getting lactose retention enemas right next to a groin central line going into his bloodstream directly, very close to his heart. Excuse me. They tell me he has infection. He has bacteria that is not only in his urine, but it's in his feces, and it's the same that's in his blood. What a coincidence. Fucking awful. So last night I got to pull that central line. Yeah, I'm so glad. I hated it. Do you hate it? I hate it. You hate it? Good. Made my stomach hurt. My tummy was angry about it. Because he's not going to be able to clear this infection if we keep putting all in inside him. When I took that dressing off, it looked just very fecal. Very fecal. So, Wasabi Walnut, what's hurting my tummy Wednesday? We're adapting. The body adapts in a way to disease. It decides what is most important to keep alive. Heart, lungs, brain. Generally, not in that order, but very close. Lungs, heart, brain. That's how I would put it, generally. This man didn't go into that wild atrial fibrillation last night. He was breathing on his own, and I got to pull that central line, but his white blood count was at like 7. It's normally anywhere between 8 and 12 is the, I believe, 1,000 range. It's 8 to 12,000 deciliters per milliliter or something. That's how they term it in our laboratory. And his dropped from 8 to 1. 1.5. What? Redraw. 1.3. It's real. Put it in a different vein. Check that. And it's still real. Oh, his body has decided to stop making blood, all kinds of blood, because it's just shunting enough blood to keep his lungs, heart, and brain alive. So it's decided to stop making white blood and red blood, leukopenia, thrombocytopenia as well, because his platelets were in the toilet as well. Just a massive immunosuppression of this man. And don't exactly know why, where it came from, who did it. But man, am I glad to pull that central line. Oh, it feels so good. Because these infections are just introduced to the body by the only way the body has prevention from. Best defense against infection is intact skin. And the way we treat you when you come to the hospital, we poke a hole in it. Per yesterday's episode, tube for every hole. Don't have a hole, we'll make one, put a tube in it. So, I did it. I touched my face. I couldn't help it. My nose is so itchy. My hands are clean. I shampooed and conditioned. My assistant manager brought us shampoo and conditioner in these cute little bags and her cute little mask. It's so sweet. I'm so glad that Nurses Week is like 2 weeks. It's like 2 weeks. I didn't know it would be that long. I'm a little loopy. They kind of gave me a run for my money. Between this patient who was immunocompromised and the one next door who was awake on a ventilator with enough space in her restraints to suction herself. The one thing I didn't teach her to do was inline suction, which is inside the endotracheal tube. There's a suction line to help get secretions out, but there's a ballard with a protective sleeve over it so it doesn't get dirty, and you have to feed the inline suction through the ballard, which I didn't teach her. We didn't quite get there. But she was woke. Coughing, gagging, copious secretions, an asthmatic with gastroparesis, just having her lumens are irritated and inflamed, making more mucus to help lower that inflammation. When you fight a fire, what do? You throw water on it. That's what your neck does, especially in asthma, your airway. And her neck is not only covered or inflated with this breathing tube, there's also an orogastric tube going into her stomach. It's supposed to help keep her nutrition up, but her body is in fight or flight mode constantly and not really interested in nutrition at the moment. Getting a little tired out, we can say. Between her and him, whew, my mouth is barely working, much less my feet. And my brain, lungs, heart, brain. We adapt, we overcome, we improvise, we make sure to reset. Reset. Chromium picolinate. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to talking about this. It's natural supplement. It's a supplement. Could be from natural sources, could be from unnatural sources. It helps with metabolism. It enhances insulin receptor sensitivity in the peripheral cells, which only really works in type 2 diabetics because they have insulin still circulating. Their body is just lowering it and less sensitive to it. So this chromium picolinate can help with those symptoms of insulin resistance, which is where your body just doesn't give a fuck about the insulin. It can't use the amount of sugar that is circulating in the blood, so fuck it. Insulin is crucial. It's one of the life-giving hormones of the body, and why would I waste it on a fat fuck like you, Mr. Adiposity? That's what your body's saying to you. It's what your pancreas is saying to you, generally. But chromium picolinate can help some side effects, or cognitive dysfunction, headache, insomnia, irritability, because what it does is it amps your mood up, increases your metabolism, so all these things can start to disturb you, like your sleep, keep you up. Also can cause weight gain in high doses because it's increasing your insulin sensitivity, making glucose more available to the body. Let's see. Oh, also, there's a leather contact allergy similarity to chromium picolinate. So if you're diabetic and kind of healthy in that way that you're attempting to correct your diabetes, control your diet, take your insulin when you need it, because the body does not heal when sugar is above 200. And if you get a cough and upper respiratory infection, that shit could easily become pneumonia and death, especially in this pandemic. So take your insulin, eat well, and if you are still making insulin in your pancreas, even just a little bit, you can take chromium picolinate and help boost the sensitivity. Please follow your medical professional's advice, and remember, this is not medical advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Thank you all for listening. I'll see you in 2 days on Forgive My Foul Mouth Friday. Adapt, improvise, overcome, and we